Welcome back to the Thrive 45 Method podcast with me, your host, nutritionist Stacey Nicole Smith. And this is the space where we talk all things weight loss and wellness for the woman in perimenopause and menopause. Now, let's get started with today's episode.
Hey guys, what's up? All right, good morning. So today we're going to get right into it. You guys, the tribe has spoken and you have chosen to hear how much protein you need to lose weight in perimenopause and menopause. And I think you're going to like this because this is for you, obviously, if you are struggling to lose weight in perimenopause, the things you used to do to lose weight are no longer working. Maybe you're gaining weight out of nowhere and you keep hearing the buzzwords. Just eat more protein. Okay, but like how much? Does the timing matter? And why? Like, does it really matter that much? Is that the only thing that matters? So I'm gonna break it down for you real simple. Yes, it is important and there's a few reasons why, but it's not just having high protein, because if you just overnight start eating high protein, high animal proteins, you're going to have a little problem with some constipation, and that's not ideal. So to take the guesswork out, I did one very simple thing for you guys. I took out the guesswork for breakfast, which is the most important protein of your day, and I'm going to explain why today. But this breakfast has the perfect amounts of protein, fiber, and healthy fats for fat loss in peri and menopause. If you want this recipe, just comment protein and I'll send it to you. So it's not just about protein only, there's other things involved. So why is it so important for weight loss in perimenopause? Well, a few reasons. As we go into these hormonal changes, our muscle mass starts to decline naturally with age. And so you want to make sure you're eating enough protein that you can maintain that muscle that you have. Even if you never stepped foot in a gym, nutrition is extremely important and basically 90% of the game. So you want to make sure you're getting adequate protein to maintain and slow down that loss of muscle, because muscle is important for obviously longevity, but muscle is important for your metabolism. The more muscle our body has, the higher our metabolic rate. So the higher number of calories our body burns even at rest. So you want to make sure you're maintaining the muscle that you have and slowing that down. So you want to make sure you're getting protein for that reason. The other reason, this is another biggie in perimenopause, is blood sugar is a big issue for us at this age. And, you know, a lot of women aren't paying attention to blood sugar because you just don't know, right? And you're just following the old advice that used to work, or that, you know, the 25, 30-year-old influencers online are telling you, just go in a calorie deficit. Well, girl, you can't calorie deficit your way out of dysregulated blood sugar. So eating protein regularly through the day is also going to help balance your blood sugar. We are more prone to it going up and going down and crashing and being more sensitive because we have more inflammation. And when we are having more blood sugar spikes, that means we're having more insulin response. The more of an insulin response we have, this can be blunted through the day and we have more inflammation. We can become more resistant to insulin, which is a fat storage hormone, which means we think we're doing all the right things, but we're actually sending the wrong signals to our body. And we're saying, yeah, just store fat. And it's not because of the calorie amount that you're eating, it's the way that you're eating and the type of thing. So today, again, we're going to simplify it with protein. How much? Well, every single woman is an individual, but I'm going to give you some guidelines that are really simple to pay attention to, and this will in fact help most women with these numbers and these guidelines. You want to aim for, I call it my 30-30-30 method. You know why? Because I like simplicity. 30 grams of protein 3 times a day. 30 grams of protein 3 times a day, and the first 30 grams of protein should be within 1 hour of waking. Why is this important? Because cortisol, our stress hormone, is naturally highest in the morning for everybody, right? Because that's what wakes us up in the morning. It's supposed to be higher to wake us up out of our sleep. But when we're going in through these hormonal changes, perimenopause, we're a little more sensitive. Cortisol can be a bit higher because estrogen and progesterone are over here fluctuating and going down, so cortisol can be a bit higher. So when it's a little bit higher in the morning, we want it to be balanced out. Well, how do we do that? Easiest way to do that, balance your blood sugar. Easiest way to do that, have 30 grams of protein within an hour of waking. That's going to help to cut through that rise in cortisol first thing in the morning. It's also going to help to manage your cravings later in the day. It's also going to help to manage your hunger hormones later in the day, and it's going to be better for your energy. Why? Because it's balancing out your blood sugar. This is like really important at this. It's really important for any age, honestly, but we're more sensitive to it now. And these are the things we want to focus on, not calorie counts. We want to focus on hormonal responses in our body. And one of those is cortisol, blood sugar, maintaining muscle. Now, another thing a lot of people don't know at this age and why it's so important to pay attention to make sure you're getting adequate protein. As we're going through these hormonal changes, we start to experience something called anabolic resistance. What does that mean? So it's, by the way, it's not in your mind. If you haven't changed anything and you start gaining weight out of nowhere, these are some of the reasons why right here. One of them is anabolic resistance, which means because of these hormonal fluctuations, our body is not as efficient as breaking down the protein that we eat and using it. So we need a little bit more protein to get the same effect. So we've got the anabolic resistance going on. We've got blood sugar. We're much more sensitive to blood sugar fluctuations. So even though you may not have changed anything, the same intake of food that you're eating, your body's handling it differently. So instead of cutting down the calories or the amount of food that you're eating, we got to get to the root and say, okay, it's just handling it differently. So let's get in and correct those signals so it starts handling it well again, right? Like most people have it backwards, and I understand because that's what we've been taught. And you're not a professional nutritionist. Why would you be? You're probably an accountant, a lawyer, a whatever it is that you do. So why would you also know this? But don't worry, I do. So I could just simplify it and share with you what's most relevant. So protein, 30, 30, 30. You want to have protein 30 grams within an hour of waking. And then you want to have another 30 grams at lunch, and you want to have another 30 grams at dinner. And again, every woman is an individual. So if you're very active, you might want to have a fourth 30 grams of protein, right? And if you're not as active, then the 30, 30, 30 might be good enough for you. And you don't want to be having those in the form of ultra processed garbage. Like, don't be basing your protein intake on protein bars all day long. Like, you want to have food in its most natural state as possible, whole foods. And yes, I hope that helps you guys. I'm going to keep it there for today because I don't want to overcomplicate something that doesn't need to be. The most important thing to know is, we do need more protein. How much? It varies by woman, but I try to keep it simple. A general guideline, 30, 30, 30. And the first 30 within an hour of waking. And if you guys want the simplest breakfast, it also has the right amounts of healthy fats and fiber because those are also very, very important. Just comment below protein. And I will happily send that recipe to you for free, so at least takes the guesswork out of your breakfast. And that's the most important one of the day anyway, because it helps to set you up with fat burning right off. It helps to eliminate cravings later in the day, get your hunger hormones signaling properly. And even if people say to me, well, I don't like to eat first thing in the morning. Well, I'm going to tell you something, neither do I. But when I turned 50, if you don't know my story real quickly, I had weight problems forever, gaining and losing the same 50 pounds forever, extreme diets. I did it all. There's not a single diet on the face of the planet that you can tell me about that I have not personally done myself. In 2006, I went back to school to study nutrition to figure it out for myself. I figured it out. It worked. I lost the weight. I kept it off for years. Started a practice, helped other people do the same. I founded a wellness. I did all of it. And then when I turned 50, I started to gain weight in my belly. Even me as a nutritionist, I started to gain weight in my belly. So I'm like, what the heck is happening? So I went back, I looked at the research with regards to women's hormones, which by the way is not even that well understood at this point, which is pretty sad, but I think we're getting there. And to figure out what to do for myself. So the reason I tell you this is because the one thing I was doing against my hormones myself, a seasoned nutritionist, is that I was eating rather intuitively at this point because I had figured it out. I lost the weight, kept it off like pretty effortlessly. So it became intuitive eating. And a lot of mornings, I don't feel like eating in the morning either. So I was just getting up. I was having black coffee, maybe some fruit, just taking my time, eating when I felt like it, whatever. No real structure to my breakfast. And then I figured out, holy cow, I am literally working against my own hormones right now by spiking my cortisol extra with black coffee on an empty stomach, and then just having, fruit, sometimes yes, sometimes no, depends on my mood, depends what I feel like. Um, and that had like no protein. So these are sending me on a blood sugar swings, cortisol spikes, everything, and I had no idea. So one of the first things I started doing myself is I started having that 30 grams of protein within an hour of waking, and guess what? It worked. So, and I don't feel like always eating first thing in the morning either. So when people tell me that, I'm like, yeah, I'm human too. I get you. I don't feel like it either, but I want to feel good all day, and I don't want fat on my belly. So, I mean, what's more important to you? Nobody can tell you what's important to you, but for me, I would rather have a quick breakfast of 30 grams of protein and feel really good all day and have a nice tight little belly. So anyway, hope that helps you guys. If you want the high protein recipe, don't forget, comment protein, and I will be very happy to send that to you. And it's something very similar to what I myself have for breakfast, because it's easy to digest, it's dairy free, and it's really easy to make, because who wants to make a 5-course meal first thing in the morning? It's easy. Name of the game is simplicity here. So 30-30-30, easy recipe, comment protein. I'll send it to you. I hope you find that helpful, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Thanks for listening. I hope you found this episode helpful. If so, please be sure to like and subscribe to be notified when new episodes are released. Episodes like this are released weekly for all things weight loss and wellness with a woman in perimenopause and menopause. And for other ways I can help you, please be sure to visit the show notes or visit my bio. Thanks for listening. Bye.